Hi, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Andrew Discusses. And today, I'm actually going to be talking about a pretty interesting topic. So, now, I'm sure a lot of you have always wanted to do this. Now, you've always had that, favorite celebrity that, this actor that I really appreciate, this actress that I really like, this, musician, playwright, anything like that. And the whole time, you have these, I want to say, uniquenesses that you always associate with them. Like, oh, they never do anything wrong. They wrote one of my favorite episodes of this show, or they've acted in this show, they're my favorite actor. They never do anything wrong. And you'd see, tabloid news articles about them, and it's like, oh, no, that's not them. That's nowhere near them. And, so on and so forth. And you end up basically you build a pedestal for them, and it's a very tall, very wide pedestal that you figure that they will never get knocked down from because they're on this pedestal. You like them, you adore them, you build statues of them, you sing their praises, so on and so forth. And then you go to a convention, or you go to a meet and greet, or a special event, or you get a VIP backstage pass that you get to meet them after a concert or show, performance, what have you. And you meet them, and your world just gets shattered. They're nothing like what you thought they were. They're nothing like what you originally envisioned them to be. And this is sad, but true. So many people don't ever consider the fact that because we put them on such a high pedestal that when we actually meet them, it's sad. There's an old saying that the grass is always greener on the other side. And the whole point of that saying is that you constantly see this other grass and there's a fence. And you know that you can't cross that fence, but you want to because the grass looks so much nicer over there than it does compared to where you are. And when you finally get there, you realize that it's the same exact grass. It's the same exact, it's the same exact grass that you were standing on. It's exactly the same. The difference, though, is that you feel disappointed because in your mind you built up this tremendous feeling of how good this grass was, how wonderful it was. And that's the same thing that happens when it comes to celebrities, is that we basically put them on this high pedestal. We think they'll do no wrong. We figure that, oh, they're the greatest celebrity, in the world. We, adore them over anybody else. And the thing is, well, that's fine. You can't make that the model for which to look at them. Because when you meet them in real life, they're not going to be the same. I mean, it's one of the main reasons why, while I would love to go to a convention, like an anime convention, a sci-fi convention, I don't. Well, that and money. I mean, those tickets are fucking expensive as hell. But besides that, I don't go because in my head, I don't see them as the actor. I see them as the character. So, for example, if I were to go to a Power Rangers convention and I would end up meeting Jason David Frank, my all-time favorite Power Ranger, or I would meet, Johnny Young Bosch, or however you pronounce it. I don't even know how you pronounce his last name. It's sad. I like the guy, and I don't know how to pronounce the last name. But if I go to an anime convention, because he does a lot of anime voices now too, after his stint on Power Rangers, if I would go to an anime convention and see him, or I would go to let's say a Power Rangers reunion, or a Star Trek showing, or Star Trek reunion, for the Next Generation or something, like a science fiction convention, I would just not, they just would not live up to the expectation that I would put on the table for what I believe that they were. Now, I know a lot of people will go, but with the internet nowadays and everything else, our expectations can get easily shattered because people's personal lives are no longer private. And yeah, that's true. You can't argue that. I mean, how many times do celebrities have sex tapes that come out? There's more of them than there are actual VHS tapes in the world. That's the sad part. That was the sad part. I think there's more of those in a blockbuster than there were Barney movies. I think there was. But one of the main issues is that we will constantly put these celebrities on too high of a pedestal. And it's because we do it ourselves. Because we see them acting. We see them performing a role. We don't see them, in their natural habitat. And when somebody has a camera placed in front of them, they are going to be a lot different than they are when the camera's not on them. I mean, take me for example. When I do the Q&A video, I am constantly looking at my computer screen and not right at the camera. And, okay, well, granted, that's also so that Windows doesn't pop up and disconnect the connection, which I could easily fix by turning off screensaver. I never think of that. I am also not the world's most comfortable person in front of a camera. I try to be, but even when I take a picture of myself with my cell phone or my tablet or an actual camera, I just look as though I'm miserable and degraded and just overall horrible. Like, I don't want to be here. And at the same time, that's how I come off. So the same thing is true for celebrities. I mean, when you see them outside their natural habitat of, oh, look, there's no camera on them, they're just like you and I. They're regular people. The problem is that we don't see them like that. We will always see them as we see them in the show. Like, if I were to be a star of a TV show, and somebody would come up to me and go, hey, you're so-and-so from that TV show. I think you're really great. I go, thanks. But they would instantly think that that's how my life is, and it's not. I mean, I could just be going to the store, picking up milk. I could just be going, to the bathroom in a public place. I could be traveling to, New Mexico or something. I don't know. Pick a state. I don't care. Go to New Mexico. But the whole thing is that we ourselves put these celebrities on such a high pedestal that no matter how we look at it, no matter how we look at them, we are always putting them on too high of a pedestal for them to even make a difference. And that's the main reason and main issue behind a lot of people being let down at conventions and stuff like that. It's like, well, they don't live up to the hype. Well, no. I mean, I'm a fan of David Tennant, but I'm not going to go to a convention expecting him to bust out in his Doctor Who attire and start speaking, Doctor Who stuff and going super sci-fi on my ass. No. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. Every time I hear his voice, his actual voice, not his actor voice, I'm still constantly blown away, forgetting his, I want to say, regional dialect. I keep getting blown away by that. And that's what it is. I mean, because when you're acting, you're putting on a performance. You're a persona. It's like, oh, well, I'm not this character. I'm acting. I mean, I get the whole thing like years ago, and I know I did a thing on the podcast for it when William Shatner put out his massive tweet where he told people, do not come up to me in public places and talk to me. Do not bother me in public places. I am not the type of person that will answer you in a public place. That's what we have conventions for. But in the back of my mind, all I'm thinking of is, if I just go up to you and ask, hey, what time is it? And you'd flip out on me because you're a celebrity and I'm just an average Joe Schmo, that pisses me off, pal. And that's the main issue that I have. So many people will put the celebrities on too high of a pedestal and think that their actual, what they see in front of the camera is how they are 24/7. And it's not. I mean, when you hear my podcast, you probably think, okay, this guy's a moaning, groaning idiot. Or you listen to my rant videos and you think that I just scream and holler 24/7. I don't. And that's the main issue that I have. I mean, it's like the issues that I have with my height, where people take one look at me and they see how big I am, how tall I am, how wide I am, and the first thing they think of is, well, that person can bench press a bus. He's obviously a menacing person. He's probably killed some people before. No. I mean, in video games, yes, but no. I mean, that's the whole gist of the situation of you're judging something before you actually judge it, and you're putting this person basically, in the spotlight and on this small stage Whereas with celebrities that, we see all the time that, we basically have come to a liking of, it's like, oh, hey, this is one of my favorite celebrities, it's my favorite show. And then you see them in real life, it's like, what did I like about you again? Because it's that pedestal that we put them on that changed our perspective of them. I mean, look at me. I grew up watching the Power Rangers. I grew up watching Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Clarissa Explains It All. So yeah, I got massive, celebrities that I, thought the world of back then. I mean, I still think the world of Melissa Joan Hart. And she's married with, I don't even know how many freaking kids. And she was on an episode back when we had cable of The View. And I didn't know about it. And my mom, we ended up pulling it up like the last couple minutes because we were waiting for the 12 o'clock news. Back when we had cable. And all of a sudden it's like, she's going, oh yeah, that's Melissa Joan Hart. And I just looked at it and I'm like, that was? That was her? I didn't recognize her. Because I put her up on this pedestal of this is who she was, and I never envisioned her like that, and that was the whole thing. Now, I had seen pictures of her prior to that. I want to stress that before I go any further into this. I had seen pictures of her before that. But it's the fact that she looks so much different from the last time I had seen a picture of her that I didn't know that was her, and then in my mind, I'm like, there's no way that's her. There's no possible way. And it was just because my mind had put her on so high of a pedestal that it wasn't funny. And I'd watched Melissa and Joey. I thought that was a good show. I watched that, and I'm looking at this, and I'm like, yeah. Because when you see an actor, you're thinking, okay, that's the same character that's the same character performance that they did on this show. They're really good at that. I like that. And, this all kind of melds into one massive thing with whole celebrities and, being a fan versus thinking like a fan, basically. So when you think like a fan, you're thinking that that's what their persona is 24/7. That, oh, well, this is Captain Kirk, is what you're thinking Shatner is. Or this is Jean-Luc Picard when you see Patrick Stewart. Or you see Jonathan Frakes and you think, this is Riker. He is Riker. There's nobody else in the world. That's Riker. But the thing is that in the rest of the world, it's just Shatner, Stewart, Frakes. It's the character that they play. And that's the difference between thinking like a fan and being a fan. You can separate the two. When you're thinking like a fan, you're basically, you're Captain Picard. You are the man. How did you handle taking on the Borg? And you expect them to answer like they are the character that they play. And you think that's what their life is. Because you're thinking like a fan. You're thinking like this is how their lives are. And it's sort of a delusional mindset that you're putting them in, but still, there's that. But then there's thinking like a fan going, how did you like playing, a Borg for an episode or two? Or in the case of, let's say, Jason David Frank for the Power Rangers, how did it feel playing yourself as both the White Ranger and the Green Ranger? How did it feel coming back, after years of not being on the show for doing your part in Dino Thunder? That's thinking as a fan, but that's just being a fan. Being a fan is just, oh, well, here, because that's not thinking like a fan. When you think like a fan, you're thinking that that's how they are 24/7. When you are a fan, that's not how they are 24/7. You look at them, you're going, oh, so you're blah, 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 blah. That's fine. Nobody can argue that. But still, it's the uniqueness of it that kind of draws to mind what exactly happens inside your mind with the whole fan thing. I know, I'm not really making much sense, but it's difficult to explain. I mean, you see somebody on television, you think that, oh, that's celebrity. That's exactly how they are in real life. It's not. It's like everybody that sees a YouTuber and thinks they're instantaneously rich. We're not. Far fucking from it. I actually proved that on Twitter. I actually put a picture up of my, you can actually pull up how much you are worth via YouTube, and mine is a whopping 0. And I mean a big old whopping 0. It's it's actually kind of sad, actually. But still, that's the whole thing. You're not thinking as a fan at that point. You're just thinking like everybody else. But when you are a fan, you know the difference. You don't, assume that that's how they are 24/7. You know that they're not. But then again, if we wouldn't put them on such high pedestals in the first place, the world wouldn't be what it is. But that's the problem. And it's a problem that I'm hoping we can address one day. And I'm hoping that will get fixed. Because at the end of the day, they're just average people. They don't do anything special. They put their pants on one leg at a time like the rest of us. They don't levitate into them. They don't have a chorus of birds bringing it to them while whistling a tune. No. They just put their pants on one leg at a time like you do and like I do and like everybody else does. But then again, they don't make a crap ton of money doing it. Anyway, let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Have you ever had a celebrity that you've gotten to meet in real life and realized that they were not the same as you had envisioned them? Or are you pretty much thinking that way 24/7, that this is what the fans, that this is how a celebrity is, and you're thinking like a fan instead of just being a fan? Let me know in the comment section below, and until next time, I'm Andrew Rhodes, and this has been Andrew Discusses.